Carlos,
How are you?
Iglesias. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good. Exciting.
Carlos has been
Pretty
with
busy.
the company like from almost the very beginning. So 16 years in the making, and I think
And still
Carlos
counting.
and still counting. Carlos, you want to show off that beautiful ring, that company ring?
Absolutely.
Look at that beautiful ring.
This is a beautiful ring awarded for all this time. Great effort, a lot of sweat, tears, and excitement, excited things, right?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. That's a 5-year ring, and then every 5 years we put a diamond in the into the circle of that ring with the sapphire. So, Carlos, again, you're a little late coming in, but thanks for making it. And truthfully, Carlos has been at it all day, just in between clients and dealing with operational matters, and finally made it here into our studio. So, Carlos, as I was speaking with James earlier, we want to have this podcast. We want to get the word out. We want manufacturers coming in. We want partners coming in to discuss their products, their services, their partnership with us, get their name out there as well, and create this community that we all have at security, and even bring in some of our competitors who I see as partners. We got great friends over at Paragon, Garda, Peregrine, great individuals that I've worked with way back in my 32 years in being in security. Some great founders and former colleagues. We'd love to have you on the podcast. So if you're interested, please come on in, and we would love to go over various topics. And Matt Stewart, I got to bring Matt Stewart back in because we did the first cut of our podcast, and it didn't really work out. So, Matt, if you're listening, I need you to come back in, and we got to redo almost everything we did from the get-go. But here we are. So, Carlos, describe what you do, and how do we do business here at Cancom, and what makes us so successful. And I know I always drive this home with everybody, and we're results driven, and we don't advertise, but the word of mouth really brings in partners. People want to work with us. People want to work here. What makes us different, and not better than anyone else? Different.
Absolutely. So I think we have to mention first all the great effort and hard work of the team that works behind the scenes.
We got a great team, that's for sure.
Right? Without their support, this wouldn't be possible. And most importantly, it's not because you are in front of me. If you remember right at the beginning, when I joined Cancom Security, me being just entry level, let's call it entry level guard, facing a lot of new challenges. It's easy to say, yeah, you're gonna put up your uniform, you're gonna put up your equipment, and now you go to work. After you have several kind of trainings, now you gotta go to the real life, right? You need to apply every single knowledge and every single skills that you are learning, and you gotta develop these skills now on site. As you know,
and you have a police foundation's
and I
accreditation background.
That's correct.
So
I have
you've got a lot of theoretical knowledge.
That's correct. Yeah. Plus,
the paper to prove it, right?
Yeah, my 2 years military service back in Mexico as well. But at some point, trainings, they help a lot. There's no question about it. Once you are completely on site, you are facing different kind of challenges. We gotta be very honest. It's the same thing with any peace or police officer out there. Not all of them they get the opportunity to experience different kind of situations on daily basis, right?
Right.
So some of them they get more expertise in traffic. Some of them they get more expertise on investigations.
And we do traffic
and etc. And we also do have different teams who specialize in different areas, right? So once you are alone, Now you get to see the reality, right? So going back in the days, I personally face many challenges, right? You get to see the reality of, okay, somebody's not listening to me. I'm trying to approach in different ways. And then the reality of a lot of people out there, they, let's say, they do not respect the fact that you're wearing a security uniform. So on top of that,
It's hard to exercise
you have to
authority
exercise authority
in a
right?
security uniform.
That's correct.
It's not the same as a police uniform.
That's correct.
It's just a fact, right?
Yeah. And I remember back in those days, you came and assist me and showed me different ways how to do things. And successfully, we were able to actually do whatever we needed to do back then in those places. So those were good, just good things to see, a learning experience with now, after all these years, the same concept. And I need to say this, the same culture we've been applying to the rest of our teams, to the new generations.
Company culture.
Exactly.
Correct.
It is really, really important. That's why, that's what I want to get at, right?
Patience, kindness,
Correct. And
assertiveness,
you got to put yourself in other people's shoes as well. But at the same time,
empathy.
yeah, you got to empathize. Yeah, it's pretty much
And
empathy.
you have a background as a critical incident
Crisis counseling.
Crisis counselor, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, that comes in handy when you're
Exactly.
teaching the staff, right?
And yeah, and obviously it's really important, continuous training, right? Continuous training, and while we are training, we also gotta play a little bit by saying this is more scenario-based training, more
Correct. Yeah.
putting like building
Stress
something like a
induced.
more reality, right?
Realistic training,
More realistic. Right?
stress-induced training. So I talked about this the other day, and in the very beginning, the humble beginnings of Cancom, we would provide fire prevention training, fire response training, fire alarm training. And most of the guards would pass with an 80 to 100%. And when it came time to perform at a real fire alarm, panic sometimes would set in, and the guards would struggle to perform. In fact, sometimes they go blank. And I remember having Toronto Fire call me direct, complaining like, your guard is not trained properly. And I was just like, what? And we very quickly remedied this by implementing real fire alarm training. We built our own fire panel, and I know other companies out there are doing this, but just to share, what we've done is we've put in, and like some other of our competitors, and great competitors and great ownership, have put fire panels in to mimic and simulate a real fire situation with the siren and the bells ringing, and we would reenact a fire alarm
With a bunch of keys.
with a bunch of keys, trying to
Just
navigate
add
through
to the pressure.
add the pressure, have somebody even put on a fire hat and pretend that they're the fire chief looking for and demanding results and performance. And we haven't had one problem since.
Absolutely, you're right, 100%. And then same as that kind of situation, we also have done bunch of trainings for medical scenarios, medical situations, active shooting.
Active shooter or active threat.
Active threat, right? And you can see the difference on while these guards are on the job, right? They are more confident. Their actions
Confidence is everything.
are more positive, right?
Yeah.
And we have I don't want to mention places, but we have seen in very critical situations where I also been present, but we've been present with a big team, and where everybody started running all over the place, right? And obviously everybody's trying to get away from the situation, and I got to see this part of our team. These guys were running against the flow. And then at this point of time, we don't know what's going on, but you can hear several messages over the radio, and it was something good to see because you can tell, wow, these guys are actually something
Responding,
trigger in their mind, and they are just responding.
not reacting. They're responding.
Responding, right?
The crowd's reacting and running.
Yeah, and exactly, and then on top of that, then I get to see the rest of the team right away conducting traffic control, getting people out. It was like the little ants, one followed to another one, and working all together without panicking,
Yeah.
which that was a big help for the rest of people, for the members of the public, to feel confident, to feel safe, the peace of mind that the team was offering. And
Correct.
then you have another group of our mobile team coming in less than 20 minutes with bottle of waters and some towels. And it was very good to see. I don't want to put other words, but it was something very
Coordination.
sensitive that I didn't have. Me at that point of time, I was one of the leaders, and I didn't have to get involved in other teams. So just to see that all these trainings work, yeah, constantly. If we keep reminding our team, uh, calling them to go for base scenario trainings, and rewarding our teams, which is really important. It's something that you started doing in the company a few years back. You can see the changes, right? They feel more valuable. In fact, I gotta mention this. Majority of our staff, and this is true, they've been working for us for over a year. We have staff members that have been working for us for 5 years, 6 years, right? 3 years, and it's still counting. It is impressive to see that the team still keeps going, right? And they found in Cancom Security a family, a place to build a career, and it's very exciting to see. I remember a couple of years back, we have a big group. They all wanted to be a police officers, and we always encourage our staff to become to follow their dreams, right?
Absolutely.
We always encourage
We'll
them.
never be that company that holds anybody back.
Exactly, we have never, and we in fact have staff that they became some of them police officers with different police agencies.
I
Some of them in
I
the
always
airport.
I always wanted to say one day that our company had created a great foundation for today's police officers.
Yes,
A great place to learn, excel, and we want to be that company that a lot of the police services come to recruit, and yeah, that's another thing. On this podcast, we really want to have a lot of those police recruiting recruiters out there. Please come on in. We'll love to have you here.
absolutely. Come and
Talk about training. We can talk about recruiting. Talk about
come and look
retention,
over trainings.
career pathing. Yeah, come on in, see our training. It's
It's
great.
exciting. It's really exciting to see. And as you know, some of them they came back to the office just to say hi in different uniform, which is really really exciting. And a lot of them they're still in contact and communication with us. It's funny to say over new generations, let's say new mobiles, when they go out there and police they come and assist them. Many of them they come back with the stories. Hey, Carlos, somebody say hi to you. And who's that? Oh, I don't remember the name, but they say they used to work here, or they know Cancom. They've been working with Cancom in the past, and could be projects. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see that.
I get text pictures.
Yeah, and you get also a lot of
from people out in the city, and they take a picture with a car. They take a picture with a guard, and it's pretty cool. I have to say,
it's cool to see that, right? And it's very rewarding that our guys they feel at some point special, right? Because they say, "Wow, people recognize us out there."
Well, we are. We're starting to be a recognized brand out in the general public. That's for sure, which is fantastic.
It is.
As the owner and founder, I have to say, I'm very proud to say that. So I'll just leave it at this is our first podcast. I just want to put it out there. Today really was just a test run, really. But at the end of the day, an invitation to those partners, friends, family, competitors. I don't even see the industry as a competitive landscape anymore. I used to when I started because, I just wanted to be the baddest, the biggest company. But I realized that it's there's a plethora of competition out there, and it's a necessity you can't specialize in everything. Mm-hmm. And it's great to have partners who specialize in, condominiums, commercial, close protection, and, they specialize in these things. We partner with these companies, and I love hearing the owners, their journey, their stories as well, and their upward climb and how they've established their business and their relationships. So, we want to host as many people on here as possible from different walks of life, not just police and security, but, even have some of our customers come in and discuss.
Different point of views, right?
Oh, for sure. And just, we're really open to everything and in hearing the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, it's the only way to get better. And part of our approach is very humble, and there's a humility to that approach, and it's an honest approach. And if you're honest, you can deal with the criticism.
That's
100%. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but we try to do best practice, and whether that's health, safety, training. The industry really needs a higher standard of training, and the ministry knows that. It's just how and who is going to be responsible for this new standard. So that's a great conversation right there. So please get in touch. It's either, get in touch with our office at 416-763-0000 or at mail@cancomsecurity.com. That's mail@cancomsecurity.com. Reach out to us to say, hey, we'd love to come on the podcast and discuss our product, discuss, our solution. And let's get to know one another. And for all our friends, families, and colleagues, come on out on the podcast. We'd love to have you here, discuss your experience. And, one of the things I know I want to have sooner than later is, the discussion on all these new home invasions and the security programs that are available out there. And we can discuss, the partnerships that we've developed, with other fellow contractors who can assist in implementing these solutions. And I think it's really important to, get that information out there as an industry, as a partner, and as a community. So, Carlos, thanks for coming in.
Anytime.
We'll see you guys soon. Hope we get, it's so busy in this office, but we want to have as many podcasts as possible and have as many guests in here as possible. And we want this studio hopping all the time. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon. This is episode 1, test 1. But the next one, hopefully, Matt, I'll have you over in sooner than later, and we'll reach out. We'll see you soon. Talk to you soon, guys.